Hey, hey, DragonCon. Welcome to Friday afternoon of DragonCon Goes Virtual. It's me, Dot, your favorite little Twitch streamer, and I am so excited for our upcoming panel. So instead of me blabbing away, I'm just going to dive right in because I know what all of you are here for. I am very excited to welcome back Felicia Day to DragonCon Goes Virtual. Welcome, Felicia.
Hello, everybody. Welcome to VirtualCon. Way less alcohol.
Yeah, or maybe just as much and less dangerous streets. Who knows?
That's true. It is 1 p.m. on a Friday. I guess it's the start of a holiday weekend, so everybody can do whatever they want in whatever cosplay. If somebody's just wearing a Halo helmet and nothing from the neck down, God bless you.
It's out there somewhere. Raise your hands, chat. Well, thank you so much for being here. I know this is not your first DragonCon.
No, it's I think my fifth.
Okay, wow, but it's definitely your first virtual DragonCon.
I mean, it's the first virtual DragonCon ever. So I would say that we're all experiencing this for the first time, and I love your backdrops and all that stuff. So it's very pro looking.
Thanks. I tried. I got up today and was like, maybe you should put on pants.
Really? Oh, I didn't get that memo.
Well, I'm really, really glad that you're here, that you're taking a little bit of your time. I know we've all been in this crazy world of social distancing. So how are you doing?
You know, life is interesting. I am simultaneously more relieved, more relaxed, and also anxious at the same time. I think it's great. I mean, I think a lot of people unplugging from a lot of things can be good, but unplugging from things like your job and so not being able to see your friends and family is not great. So I think we should just all take this transition for what it is, a reason to just become a better person and a better version of ourselves. So I'm trying to embrace that. I certainly haven't been doing my hair as much. I haven't been going to meetings with people I don't like anymore, which is probably the highlight. I don't have to drive as much in LA, which is great.
Oh, yeah.
So yeah, it's I think it's all good and bad. I think everybody probably has the same experience of just ups and downs.
I hear that. I really do. It's been it's given me a chance to slow down a little bit.
Yeah, there's a lot. Right. I feel like the things that I've enjoyed are the ones that were so slow that I would never give them the time of day before, like cooking bread and planting some pumpkin seeds and cleaning a closet out. You're right. And I think it gives you sort of a perspective that we're all living maybe a little too fast to pay attention to what we're doing. So yeah, for sure.
Just a little pumping the brakes. Well, for all of you in chat that may not know who Felicia Day is, why don't you tell us a little bit about you, just for anybody that may not have happened to see you across all the amazing things you've done over the last few years.
I am an actor. I'm a producer. I'm a writer. I'm a video game streamer. I do some singing. I did an interview the other day where they put all the hybrids on there, and I was kind of embarrassed because it was like pick a lane, lady. But I tend to just do what I love, and it seems to be working out for me, or at least this far. I guess most people might know me from The Guild, which is the web series that I created about a long time ago. I did it in my house, and it blew up to become this phenomenon. I've also been in a bunch of great shows called Supernatural and Magicians, Eureka. A lot of guest stars everywhere. And I also produce a lot. I used to produce a ton of content. I had a company called Geek and Sundry, which I really loved. And we made a ton of great shows called like Tabletop and all sorts of different shows there that I started, but also produced and helped create things like our Twitch channel, which had Critical Role. So there are a lot of things. And then I had a baby and I quit my company. And so the last several years, I've just been kind of trying to rediscover myself and refocus my career on my own stuff versus producing things for other people. So it's been a journey.
That's really cool. Yeah, and obviously no small feat, Geek and Sundry, and now Critical Role, which is huge. But pumping the brakes.
I don't have anything to do with Critical Role now. Their success is all them, but I did give them the platform and the early know-how to get to an audience. But who knew? Who knew what things? That's the wonderful thing about that things can blow up that are unexpected, and that's what I love doing.
Yeah. Well, chat, for all of you, this is a prime time. This is live, unlike some of the other content we've been pre-streaming. So ask Felicia some questions. I'm here to just kind of feed those to her, and she's going to answer your questions today. So get those questions coming in. But speaking of kind of shifting gears, you've been writing a lot over the last few years. You have two books out, right? And one just came out in 2019.
Yeah, at the end of last year, I had a book called Embrace Your Weird. It is a workbook / self-help book, kind of. I don't know how to describe it. It's certainly not very woo-woo, but it has a lot of advice on unleashing your own creativity and becoming a more creative person in your life. And there's a lot of interactive exercises that you can do. Like, really, it's supposed to be something that's more back and forth than just me telling you things. I really wanted that interactive quality that I have on the internet in a book. And so that's why there's a lot of drawings and exercises, and hopefully people are having fun with it, but also discovering things about themselves as well.
It's very fun. The book just has like that perfect, cute, creative vibe that I just love. It's really great. But, you know, in this time where we're all so many creatives, even our little cosplayers for DragonCon are stuck at home behind the walls of their house. It's like prime time where there is an opportunity to be creating more, to do more things. So what are you working on? Because I know you're working on something.
I mean, right now I have a toddler at home and I do have help with her, but the productivity is plummeted. What I'm actually really doing that really fuels me a lot is streaming a lot. I've been doing so much video game streaming, but also I have some other things I'm working on to do in the streaming on my Twitch channel that are kind of tangential to the gaming world. We've been doing the Guild D&D. So Sunday, we did a 8-episode run of the Guild doing D&D together, which was super fun. It's on our Guild channel. Watch the Guild on YouTube. Cool. Yeah, and so our DM moved on, but we're going to be doing monthly D&D games with the Guild, and then on the other Sunday nights, we're going to be doing Jackbox and little party games together. So this Sunday night, people can watch if they're not already having DragonCon fun. On twitch.tv/Felicia Day. So I'm in streaming 3 to 4 times a week there, and just there's so many years where I've just been making myself do things because I have some ambition, but I'm not really enjoying the work. And this has been a real opportunity for me to just completely unplug and reevaluate. And so I am working on several writing projects right now, a couple of book proposals, another thing that I've been working on for 2 years. Hopefully will be out early next year, but I can't say anything more about it. But I can tell you that writing and streaming are fueling me so much that I don't even know if I can go back to the Hollywood thing. I'm not sure. It's so hard.
Hey, I was about to say, you're talking to a streamer. I love the streaming live. Actually, it's funny. I tuned into one of your Fall Guys streams the other day. Oh my God. I was in stitches. Other than the fact that game's great, but like, man, just a hoot.
I try to be family friendly, but on that game, it's just impossible. I cannot do it. It is just not. It's not possible. I'm sorry. I just get so frustrated. So after hours, Felicia, you can hear me drop a little F-bomb there. Well,
it's fun nonetheless. And it's kind of neat, actually. It's almost like going back to your roots because you started as a gamer.
I mean, really, my biggest success was Codex staring at a camera, saying some words. And like that was before there were any streamers. People didn't video game stream back there, and there just wasn't the technology to do it. And so, you know, having that connection of just talking to my audience by myself in my house is so, everything that gets built up around it, everyone aspiring to do TV shows and stuff. I have spent years trying to get TV shows made. People have wanted to reboot the Guild. And every time I go down that rabbit hole, I spend a year on something, I don't get paid, and they reject something awesome because of some terrible idea. And I would rather just be making stuff. I have an amazing community. I have a Discord channel where I have almost 10,000 people there. And we just have it's just a wonderful place. And I'm just happy to be online, creating community again, where people can feel safe and just have a good time together. Honestly, that's what fuels me. And I could never go back to not doing that anymore.
Very cool. Well, speaking of our community, we've got a few people from the DragonCon community who have some questions.
Yay!
So Becky Beaver, who's watching over on YouTube, wants to know, is there any chance of you reprising your role of Kingo or any other service picking up the new MST 3K?
You know, that's a really good question. Sadly, Netflix didn't renew it, but it was a licensed show. So right now you can actually see MST 3K on IFC. I think that's where it's playing. They're playing in an out of order for some reason, but our latest episodes can be seen on IFC now. I don't know the future plans. I know that Joel did a farewell tour. It was for a tour of the live show. And that was the last time he was going to be in the driver's seat as a riffer. And it brought tears to my eyes, to be honest with you. But at the same time, it's just a privilege to be a part of it. And if he decides to do something with it in the future, I would love to be involved. If he decides to do something else with it in the future, not involving me, I will be cheering it on and watching, because being a part of the show was a dream for me. It was a dream for my brother. We wrote an episode together, riffing. And, there's some things in your life you're really proud of, and I'm really proud of my involvement with that show.
Definitely. And such a fan favorite, and so deeply embedded in
so
much of the nerd culture. Like, even just the origins of that show is such a
it's the start of the internet. Like,
really
talking to each other.
Right. Yeah. Yeah. All right. Well, Lizardface over on our Discord, who's also tuning in, just simply wants to let you know, I want a Dr. Horrible sequel, please.
I mean, sign me up, man. Again, I don't know if Penny would be involved in that, but it's Marvel kind of took over the whole creative team of that project. Joss went on to do Avengers. Marissa and Jed went to do S.H.I.E.L.D. for 7 years. And Zach went to work on a bunch of really cool shows. So I have always told them, hey, you guys should do this. I would love to come back as a ghost, but if you don't want me, still make it, because you're so brilliant.
Mm-hmm.
But my friend Marissa, I think they're taking some time off from, and she also has lupus, so she has to be super careful about COVID right now. So she and her daughter are kind of sequestered. They have to be super careful. I saw her in person the other day because I randomly passed her on the street going to the gynecologist, which we share. We share a gynecologist. I was like, wait, are you near the gyno? So we saw each other on the sidewalk for the first time in 6 months, and I tears in my eyes because we couldn't hug each other, but we have to be super careful. So, hopefully they're working on something brilliant. Whatever it is they're working on, it's going to be brilliant. And so there you go.
Well, then we'll put out good vibes. Everybody cross your fingers that that's what they're working on. Sequel. Awesome. Virginia Moreland over on YouTube wants to know, the cast of Supernatural is, of course, famous for pranks. What's a memorable prank, if any, that they pulled on you?
I have to tell you, they never pulled a prank on me, because I don't know if I think they pulled a couple of pranks on Ruthie, but they're very extra respectful with women. And I didn't see as many pranks pulled on the ladies as much the guys. And so I went years on the show without knowing that they did pranks until I was on an episode with Misha, one of my last as OG Charlie. And I saw them giving him a wedgie during a close-up. And I was like, what? And I turned to Misha. I was like, how do you do this? And he's like, I don't know.
So we just show up every day and it happens. That's amazing.
Yep. So I feel really lucky that I wasn't. I mean, I'm almost too gullible. So it's not even fun to pull a prank on me. I'll be like, oh, really? You're snails have 3 brains. It's true. They actually do have 3 brains, but I would be like, great. I believe you.
We learned something with Felicia Day today.
Yep.
Snails have 3 brains. I did not know that.
They do.
Very cool. Well, let's see. Lady Furman on Discord, how tough is it as a working mom to still get joy out of what you do?
That's a really good question. It is constantly a battle of guilt mixed with I have to work, mixed with I need to be with my baby, mixed with, wow, how do I pay for this baby? It was really tough. And I actually wrote Embrace Your Weird as sort of a way to put myself together after I had a baby. I had a real life crisis, and I'm very much a specialist, but I left my company at the same time I had my baby. They weren't related, but it was time for me to transition out because I was so stressed. I had a lot of issues with my pregnancy due to working there, not specifically there, just the stress of a startup, all of it. And so I decided for my own health, mental and physical, I needed to leave. And so that I thought was going to alleviate, some of my stress, but at the same time, it created a crisis in me because my identity was so tied up in making that company great. I didn't have a Felicia Day anymore. And then when you have a child, you don't have a Felicia Day anymore or yourself anymore. You have a baby who needs everything from you, especially in the beginning. So for me, like a year in, I started writing this book because I was like, I don't know who I am anymore. I don't remember who I was. And so getting back in touch with who I am and was and wanted to be was a real lesson. And I have to say that all that work I did on myself helped. And then unplugging during COVID has really helped me realize a lot of that. And by doing things just for the joy of them, I'm realizing that a lot of the things I did were not out of joy. They were out of desperation. They were out of fear. They were out of things that I expected people to like from me, so I do them. They were out of trying to get people to like me who were never going to like what I do. And so, you know, I'm an outsider and I have to embrace that. And if I want to get inside, I just need to sort of figure out how to do my version of it versus trying to be something that I'm not. And so I think that that work I did on the book and in releasing the book helped me be firm in and discover how to follow my joy a little bit more than I did in the past.
I think that's such an impactful thing to hear right now.
Yeah.
Too, like in this time where so many artists are finding barriers and walls to making work or not being able to be in person. And so embracing those weird things that oftentimes we forget about or we don't even think make us unique or have opportunity is really a nugget to take away, I think, both in this book and just in general.
I think we all kind of we go on autopilot a lot, and especially if we found sort of a niche, we kind of do that niche over and over again because, I like this, and people like it, and I'm going to keep doing it. But then over time, you sort of lose the reason why you want to do it, and you can't. Success often holds you back in becoming another version of yourself that you should do to be able to progress through life. And I'm not doing something so radically different, but you know, the idea that you could see yourself differently, you can let go of old things. If you're an artist, you know, this is a time to be experimenting with what other things can fuel you rather than the things that you have done in the past that sort of is your brand, right? Like having a brand is very great because you can market it, but having a brand can also be a trap over time. And so sort of looking at yourself and saying, okay, I can't just be that one thing anymore. What opportunity is there for me in the future to be something different? Whether it's just a different version of what you do or a completely different thing.
Yeah. Wow. Well, this is another mom question. So I'll kind of back this one up to it. Now that you're a mom to a toddler, are there any great parenting ideas that come from sci-fi?
Well, wow, that's interesting.
I know.
I put her in a tube every night. I have a replicator. I just serve her gruel, but I put a little bit of flavoring. Now, I don't know how you're translating this. I'm so sorry. You know, I think the one thing for the first 3 years of her life, I was super, super firm about no screen time, which scientifically is proven that if you don't show young kids a lot of screens when they're really super young, it can help prevent ADD and all these things because they don't really know how to differentiate between reality and not reality. So if they see something, it's like, oh, that's real. It's kind of like seeing almost like a dog acting. It's like a dog in a scene acting, always just think that's reality, right? So if they're on a film set, it's like, oh, this is reality right now. Not a dog. I'm not comparing babies to dogs, but anyway, I just did, but it's not successful. So I was pretty firm about it. And then I was really conflicted about showing her video games or not. And we decided to do a little bit of Animal Crossing every day. And she really loved it because we would do fishing and we would put stuff in the museum. And that was really her favorite thing. And we went to a pond and she's like, that's a pond skinner, Mom. And I was like, yeah, you learned that from a video game. And so not that I allow her to play a lot of video game. We play like 30 minutes a night, but I decided that there are some really great shows to show her that would help her, you know, like Daniel Tiger. I did my research, and if you do your research, there's a lot of different resources on the internet to show you what is going to be good developmentally at that age for them. And so I certainly allowed her at 3 to watch a little TV, and I certainly encourage her to do some of the more sci-fi and fantasy. When we read books, we definitely read a lot of folklore. She knows Hercules and his 10 tasks or 12 tasks better than most adults probably. Oh. So I think it's less sci-fi and more fantasy. I'll see what she turns into, but she does like board games. So,
well, basically you're going to have a gamer on your hands no matter what you do.
I know, and I'm like, I don't know if this is good or not.
Everything comes full circle. Well, speaking of full circle, let's get one more time just before we dive into more questions. Those handles again, where people can find you. You said you're doing a lot of streaming right now to your Twitch channel, and you have a Discord and all of that. So where can people find you? Our team's going to drop it on the screen for us.
People can find me at twitch.tv/Felicia Day. I output most of them to YouTube, but I don't really maintain YouTube. YouTube is just a trash fire, but it's really my home. So twitch.tv/Felicia Day, and I have a Discord. If you guys are on Discord, because I see that DragonCon has a Discord, you could join my server at discord.gg/Felicia Day too. So it's a great community. There's nothing better than having a nice community where you can hang out with friends online, and that's what we try to foster between the Twitch and the Discord. That's really where. Oh, yay! Thank you much. Yay! It's Felicia Day everywhere. I was actually good at being consistent because I'm so early.
Nice. Yeah. Get on it while you can.
Tumblr. Somebody was squatting that, and I was like, "Screw you, Tumblr."
Oh, really?
My Tumblr is It's Felicia Day, but who goes to Tumblr anymore? Although some do. There's some really good gifs on there. And fan art and Castiel fans.
Yeah, I was about to say, you heard it here first. So you've been doing a lot of streaming, you being a mom, but you, as you mentioned at the very top, you have all of these things that you do that kind of come after the name, and one of them is playing violin. And so Library Jim wants to know, do you still play?
You know, Jim, I try to get it out once a week for my baby. She always says, "Mama, stop playing." So it's not really getting anywhere with her. I try my best. I don't play, for the last 8 months, my office has been under construction. You might have heard some buzzsawing just now. So we've been delayed on renovating my garage office quite a while. And when I get that back, I'm excited to sort of like set up a little bit more of playing. I'll have a nice studio to stream from and do vocal recordings and things like that. But also, I really want to get back into the violin because it's a skill that I spent 20 years, perfecting, like early in my life. Like that was half my life is violin, and to just drop it is. And I really want Calliope. I don't think she's going to be a classical musician. She seems more like a snowboarder, thrash metal kind of kid. She's not like her mama at all. I'm like, you're so much cooler at 3 than I ever was in life. So I don't know, maybe she'll be a rock musician. Who knows? But I do want to give her skills that will see her through her life. And the love of music is something I'd like to give her, but she just has no interest right now. I don't know. Some kids love it, some kids don't, and you just got to go with it, right?
She'll get there.
Yeah.
She'll get there. That teen angst point. Music is no matter what music, it's always part of that like teen angst period.
Maybe she'll just be rebellious and listen to Brahms. She'll be like, I love Brahms.
Fantastic. DJ Spider, one of our DJs, is over on Discord and wants to know, is there a show that's not on anymore that you wish you could have guested on?
The Good Place?
Ooh.
Would have been great. I've never really done half-hour comedy on TV. I did some sitcoms early in my career, but for some reason, never could get those single camera jobs, and I don't understand it. Mostly because I'm a terrible auditioner, and nobody will hire me from that. So the only work I've gotten was from sci-fi showrunners who knew my work online and was like, she'll be great, and I'm always great on camera. But I recently started anti-anxiety medication this year, and it's changed my life so much. I don't know if it'll be any different when I audition, but I'd love to at least try maybe next year to get back into and just see if maybe I can let myself shine and not be like having a panic attack every time I audition. So I guess that's the thing, I'd love to have been on. That was a great show, The Good Place. Also, It's Always Sunny in Philadelphia is one I've always wanted to be on.
Oh my gosh, that show is so brilliant.
Yeah, I love it. It's so fun. And wow, I don't know. Sleepy Hollow was really good. I would have loved to have been on that show the first year.
Yeah. Interesting. Very different aesthetics for like each one of the shows you talked about too. That's
I feel like I've always been the comic relief kind of in hour stuff, but early in my career, I was like the victim in like hour law dramas. Like I was always like, my friend Becky took cough syrup and she passed away, and I don't know what happened to her. I really did it. Haha. That kind of thing.
Yep. Yeah.
Horrible.
Yeah. Auditioning. For people that don't get to audition, auditioning is just one of those things that like, it's the worst part of like the entertainment industry, in my opinion. It's what actually kept me from doing film and TV. Auditioning, the anxiety that like comes with standing in a room full of people that look just like you is.
Yeah. No. I mean, I've had more near misses. I would have been much more big. I would have I've been second choice and third choice so many times in my career to really huge shows, huge opportunities. And my body, even if I was taking something, to try to control it medically, I just, and also at the end of the day, you kind of have to listen to your heart, right? if my body is having seizure, you know, like maybe I'm not doing the thing with my life that I should, or maybe there's a reason why my body doesn't want to do this. Like, I think our brain tries to control our heart maybe too aggressively sometimes, and then our gut and our stomach. I mean, the amount of acid reflux I've had in my life is insane. I'm surprised I have a throat left, but you know, it now that I'm on some anxiety, it really has made a huge difference, and I don't have the issues of my stomach, and I'm like, oh, we're all connected.
Yeah.
Just seeing if my Postmates arrived.
Oh yes, important.
Yeah, it did. Okay. Anyway.
So Harley Wilson over on our Discord says you come across as a genuine person in nerd pop culture. What in nerd culture is your own personal fandom? What do you fan over?
Oh, wow. I mean, I have certain authors who I'm like, oh my God, I can't believe there's a new book. Like mostly authors make me fan out. The times I've gotten speechless were in front of authors. Like those, for some reason, I can escape myself mentally into a book much easier than I can into a TV show because I kind of know how the sausage is made.
Yeah.
So, and I know a lot of actors and I've met them in person. If I met you in person, I won't believe you on screen ever. Like even Marvel people, I'm like, I've seen you. Like, I don't believe what you're doing right now. So that kind of ruins kind of like, you know, it ruins it a little bit for me. So, I mean, I guess I love Harry Potter, the world building, not so much what's going on with J.K. Rowling, but I do always will remember the magic of a new Harry Potter movie coming out and that world and those books. I love Star Wars. I used to love Star Trek a lot, but I just can't keep up with everything they're doing right now. And it's like everything, like there's nothing like The Next Generation for me. It had a sort of spirit that was less dark. I mean, I tried to watch Discovery and like it's pretty good, but it's just like it's not the camaraderie of Next Gen. That's kind of what the appeal was for me. So, yeah, I mean, I am a big gaming fan, and when like there's a new Assassin's Creed coming out, and I'm really excited for that. So there's certain things, and I'm excited about, like, there's a podcast called Fall of Civilization podcast. I'm like, oh, I'm actually a Patreon subscriber to that because I love it so much, and because I love ancient history so much. So, you know, there's certain things I get excited about, but it's that I haven't been watching a lot of TV because there's just so much of it. I can't get excited, except there's a new British baking show coming out. Ooh. And I'm so excited. And then HBO Max has like a pottery throwdown show by the bakers of British Baking Show. And I'm just like, I might have to figure out how to watch HBO Max now because I want to watch it so bad.
Wait. So do you bake?
I do.
Okay.
Although my latest hobby is ordering bread off of Instagram. There's a lot of underground bakers here in Los Angeles. And if you guys are in a big city, check it out. There are a lot of people who are just cooking out of their homes right now. And the bread I've been getting is so good. I had this loaf. I think I actually put it on if you watch my Instagram stories today, I got something from this Gemini. I mean, I bought it. Nobody gave me anything for free, but it's just like, I ate the bagel. There's like a loaf of bread. Wow. It's so good. So that's kind of my hobby now. Looking up pastry and ordering off Instagram.
That's so cool. Well, Melanie Shanks wants to know, where do you think your magician's character Poppy is now or at the end of the show?
You know, Poppy, the last time we saw her was in season 3, and sadly we did not come back for season 4, which was the last season, I think. Yeah. So that's a sad thing because I had like a really close relationship with the lead of that show. And for circumstances, you know, there was an opportunity to bring me back in season 4. So, but Poppy, remember, was about to burst with a baby. I mean, for me, I feel like she's such an irresponsible, terrible person. I would hate to see her mother that baby. So I hope she gave the baby up for adoption. I really do. Or gave her to a relative who could care for her, because Poppy, knowing that character under her skin, that is not what a baby needs. Baby needs stability. Baby needs someone to think about them more than the parent. And I know that Poppy was not capable of that. So she had this whim at the end of the episode where she was like all about, this is what I want to be now. And I think it's hormones. And I'm hoping that she is doing her exploratory thing, and her precious baby, whoever that father was, is somewhere safe and loved in a stable home.
Here's to hoping.
I know.
Yeah,
it's a weird thing to say about one of your characters, but hey.
Right. But some people say sometimes motherhood changes you. Like the whole process of like actually giving birth can like change a person.
I don't think so, because I've seen a lot of bad mothers. It's not like somehow you pop a baby out of your vagina and then suddenly I'm a good person. Like bad people are always bad people. Selfish people are always selfish. Some people might go through a transformation. I'm not saying, you can't change, but I don't know.
Not Poppy.
I just feel bad. Like I see people, for me, like I didn't know anything about kids. I just had a baby and didn't even know I never held one before. So it was like a learning curve that was super steep for me. And so I had to let go of a lot of things and it was super hard. But the adjustment, it was very, very hard to let go of who I thought I was to make room for this baby. I make an analogy about having a baby. It's like you get on Amazon and you order a table and you think it's like a 3-foot table and it turns out to be a 12-foot table. And you're like, I love this table so much. I can't get rid of it, but I don't know how to fit this table in this house. So you just start getting rid of things in your house to make room for this beautiful table. That'll be the love of your life. But you just got to keep making room. Right. And so that's my analogy for being a parent. You just got let go of so many things. And at the end of the day, you have to retain the thing that makes you you, right? But you get rid of all the other crap that really was disposable anyway. And so hopefully we become a good person, but I think some people might not let those things go. And that's how we kind of get kids who are not, maybe in the best of homes or like we all have therapists for some reason, right?
Right. Yeah, everybody's got to, that's a mood. Well, speaking of another mood, Tiffany in Discord wants to know, how does it feel to be on par with Star Trek as far as future tech is concerned?
Wow. Are we on par with Star Trek? Is it just me? Are you talking about me in my house? Like I am old school. Like I have a pencil sharpener on my wall.
Is it one of the crank ones? You have one of the old school crank ones?
It was the house and I didn't want to take it off. So like, it's not me. I didn't put it there, but it was kind of fun. Awesome. I was like, because I do a lot. I'm addicted to Ken right now. Do you know those Ken puzzles? They're my jam, man. I was a math major. And I'm like, I'm scratching a part of my brain I haven't scratched in years. And I love them.
You were a math major?
Yeah, I have a math degree. I was a valedictorian of my math class.
Wow.
At the University of Texas at Austin.
That's very cool.
Okay, but people are saying gaming and streaming. Okay.
I see.
I mean, I think that if we were in the future, we would be hologramming right now. Like all of us would be on stage in a hologram form and we could see each other as holograms. That's going to happen within 10 years. I guarantee you. Like, because if we're all online, we still need that representation of our forms. I don't think a 2D, like poor kids, my poor baby's starting preschool next week and it's going to be on Zoom because it's just not safe right now. And it's breaking my heart because she's not into it. She'll watch maybe 20 minutes and like, she's not going to be there an hour and a half a day. It's not going to happen. So, she's not going to learn what she needs to because she doesn't have that tactile experience, but who knows? Anyway, I like the fact that I live now. It's a good time to be living, especially as a woman, but I'm sure that all the tech will keep going unless our planet is destroyed by global warming, in which case I'm really glad that I'm alive now to actually have the benefits of what we have.
For sure. Infamous Jin Esman wants to know, which project you touched in some way are you most proud of?
Oh, the Guild. I'm the most proud of the Guild always because I was so afraid and I put my heart into it. And it was finally something in my life that I did where I felt like I was authentically me and I was being received well for it. Not that, but I felt purpose in a way. And so even if I had never gotten the success that the show did, I would have wanted to do that show. Like even I would have figured out how to pay for that show in my garage as long as anybody would do it because it showed me that a lot of the things that I've done in my life, especially as a performer, have been for the praise of other people. But when you can do your art and you feel settled in it and you're like, I would do this without an audience, that's when you know you're doing the right thing. So that's what I'm actually striving to do in my life from now on, right? I don't need, 10,000 people watching me do something. I don't need my books to all be bestsellers. I do need to be telling the stories that feel important to me because, there's a limited time as an artist and you gotta get your voice out there while you have the time.
Yeah. Man, that's good. Refreshmo over in our Discord wants to know, gatekeeping. You've achieved amazing success in the world of nerddom. How has that affected your work? Do definitely a big topic, like women in this nerd industry.
Yeah, I was really lucky that I was ahead of a lot of the guys, and I think that's where I've experienced a lot of ego crushing in Hollywood in trying to do things that they already knew how to do and get in there, and they didn't think anything I had done in the other world were really that valuable to them, and that was hard for me. Like, and you want to be, and I do believe that guys, I was very privileged in being so early that there was a little less gatekeeping for me, and there were always supporters. I was really put my work first, and it was all about the work and being ahead of the game and being ahead of the curve. And so I think somewhat begrudgingly sometimes guys would give me kudos, but at the same time, I've always been proud of having a very diverse fan base, male and female, and of all genders. And so I have encountered a lot of the gatekeeping when I'm trying to get into Hollywood, and so it makes me super aware of what women go through every day. We all go through that. And I think me being ahead of the curve and being admired for pushing that forward is why I thrive on it, because I know that I am proving myself to be by being ahead of everybody. And that's almost what women have to do, because once you become part of the mainstream, you get co-opted and you're not included. And I know that I've seen that happen to me and to many, many other women. So the sad thing is women have to make themselves exceptional to get ahead and get respect, whereas a mediocre guy will be part of the tribe in a second. And I don't mean to say that in a broad sense, but that's what I've observed in many different careers that I've had.
Yeah. And I think that backs right up next to little Alexi from Discord's question, which is how do you deal with that toxic behavior in the online gaming, especially towards women, because it's there.
Well, I wrote about this in my biography. It was very hard to deal with. And I think Geek and Sundry giving me a bigger platform than the Guild had introduced me to a lot of hate that was very hard for me to deal with. I realize now, having gone through a lot of therapy, that I lived in terror for many years. And I lived afraid of showing who I was if it was not going to be received well. I lived very afraid of being turned on, and it was so conditional. And I put myself in this position because the company needed to succeed and every view counted, because that's what the advertisers wanted, right? And so this needing to be innocuous and not make a statement or put myself forth if I knew it was going to be unpopular was very hard to deal with and hard to shake, right? And I think social media encourages all of us to do that. We just put forth the version of ourselves that we think will be most popular without regard of what we really need. And it's a constant battle, even now. So, you just have to be self-aware, and you have to dig deep into yourself and look at the positive. And frankly, you just have to block people. Many years I was afraid of blocking people. Many years the platforms didn't even have the possibility, but be aggressive in policing your own space, because the tech companies don't care about you. They're just trying to get money, and one person doesn't mean anything to them.
Yeah. Well said. Well, you talked about how the Guild is your, like, that pride and joy. So Deb from Discord wants to know, is there any more Guild planned?
Deb, I would love to do some more Guild. I tried the D&D thing, which was really fun. So we still do that. And we play together as a group. We're going to play Jackbox games this weekend. And I can't wait to see what NSFW thing Jeff Lewis draws. So every Sunday night, pretty much, I will be streaming on my Twitch channel with the Guild. We'll be doing a couple hours of fun stuff, and D&D once a month with a one-shot. As far as doing more video, it's just not possible on the finances. 10 years ago, I was paying people as much as I possibly could. It was a couple hundred a day for each crew member, at least, even more than that often. And first of all, it's not safe to shoot right now. And second of all, there's just no way to kind of like grassroots video anymore. If you look around, there's really no web series that are successful. That said, I would love, if I get the idea to do something in audio form or book form or comic book form, something that is I can do myself, I would be open to it. But right now I'm exploring new stories, and I'm really, I have a project I've been working very hard on for almost 2 years now that hopefully will be out next year, and I'm really excited about it.
That's very exciting. Well, Creative Guy wants to know, what's your favorite thing about attending DragonCon as opposed to other conventions? What do you find unique about our little con?
I love the fact that it just seems like getting together with friends. And there's not any time where I'm not putting on a mask and going out at night versus most cons. There's not that sort of central feeling of we're all in the hotels. So it's really just a party. And I'm not a very big party person. I don't really drink at all. I don't do drugs, but just seeing people's amazing creativity and that sort of party spirit has been a joy over the years. Every year I go to DragonCon, it's always the highlight of the year. That and Comic-Con in a different way because there's a lot of industry parties, right? But those are the kind of cons that I always have a good time at the con. I always walk around, but it's the one time where I get to mingle in a way that I feel like I'm just another person, and that's what I like about it.
That's cool. Yeah, it's such a DragonCon's so humble in its own little unique kind of weird way.
Grassroots and scrappy. I feel like that's my soul.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, Lucian, the smiling teacher, wants to add, Felicia, thank you so much for sticking with DragonCon and being here this year. Keep being awesome. Oh yeah, no, I mean, it's hard. I can't imagine. So many people have their livelihoods and their hobbies and everything just shattered. And, you guys are definitely keeping the spirit going because you can't let that go. It's too important. For sure. This is a really interesting one. We've talked a little bit about your books, and you said you're writing some other things on the DL and working on some stuff. But Cole Watson from YouTube wants to know, any advice for wannabe writers? My advice is not to toot my own horn. Definitely read my book, Embrace Your Weird. It's a great book for writers to really discover, and I guess who they are. And I guess my best advice is to write. This is advice I wish I had. Write badly to get better. It's like you can't do huge ballet jumps without doing some plies first. And I didn't really realize that. And everything I agonized over years ago could have been much better and much improved if I had just done a little bit more bad work and just learned how to learn my own process. Like for me, I'm not an outliner. It's really hard for me. And for years, I thought I was not a writer because I couldn't outline, and I get stuck there for years. And, in really thinking about the best way where I have joy with my writing and the best stuff that comes out, it's like, it's a hybrid, I have a messy process, and you have to understand who you are as a writer without just constantly going, God, you're terrible because you can't work like this person or that person or those folks. So find your own process and make sure you're saying something that only you could say and you find exciting to share with other people. I think, great work is somebody having a unique perspective on it and wanting to show people they're wrong about something. Yep. Interesting. This kind of ties in that too. MST3K Temple over on YouTube wants to know, I understand you're currently into reading Greek and Roman literature.
Yeah.
Have you been thinking about what era of lit you may look into next?
I'm still sticking with it. I certainly haven't exhausted ancient Greek literature. So I'm still plowing ahead. I'm trying to read Ovid now, but it's a little, I think it's all based on the translation, because I found an amazing translation of the Odyssey and the Iliad that were just incredible. And so that really brought it to life. So I paid for an Ovid translation that's way too flowery. And so I need to just I think that's it, finding the translation that really speaks to you. So that one's not working. I'm going to read the Aeneid. I think that's soon. And I want to read Jason and the Argonauts, the original one. So those are on my list. And I love it, you guys. It puts me to sleep a little bit. I love it. I love the era. And I read SPQR, which is a great Roman history book. And I want to find one that's kind of equivalent on Greek history too. So I'm into it, man. I get really focused on an era and I'm into it.
Very cool. Dare I ask how you got to the Greek and Roman? Like, did you just wake up one day and you're like, today it's the Odyssey?
So I saw that a woman had recently translated the Odyssey. Well, no, I read Circe by Madeline. Okay. What's her face? I forget her last name. So I read that book and I was like, I love it. And I started reading a little bit more. And then I was like, I'll read the Odyssey because Circe's in the Odyssey. And I found this amazing translation by Emily somebody, and it made it so easy to read. It was so exciting and so accessible. And so I just went on a tear, man. And so I found another one of the Iliad. Then I read a bunch of philosophy. Before that, I was like going out of my mind with my baby. I was having heart palpitations and panic attacks for 2 years until I got this anti-anxiety medication. And it was just really tough. It was a lot of hormonal things. After I weaned my baby last year, basically my body went crazy. And for a year, I was suffering so badly. So I would have to read the most boring thing before bed. So I did theoretical physics, and then I stumbled upon some Greek philosophy. And then that went into Greek literature. And then that's from there. So I still love it.
That's so cool.
I love reading on my Kindle, even though I don't like supporting Amazon so much. I like reading on my Kindle because the footnotes, you can just press something or be like, I don't know that person. You can look at the Wikipedia entry, and you learn as you go along. So that kind of three-dimensional learning is really
that's very handy. Yeah, that's really cool. Okay. Let's see. Zombie Whisker wants to know, what is your favorite board game at the moment?
Oh, wow. Well, I would say I haven't been playing a lot of board games. The last one I really got into was Scythe, but Roots is someone that I really want to play, and they just released a version online. I mean, right now we can't do board games, but we can do online versions of board games. And I have Ticket to Ride here, Mysterium, Takinoko, Carcassonne. I'm looking at all the ones on my desktop that I've downloaded. Elder Signs on my phone, I love. So I went to a board game night right before COVID, and there were so many new board games. I was so sad that tabletop isn't happening, because there's so many games that we could be highlighting right now. Yep. So.
Yeah, it's happening in the digital space a little bit. Some tabletop is. Yeah, some tabletop.
A little, the problem is with the live streaming, you can't really do tabletop. It needs to be edited, and that just requires a lot of money and graphics and things like that. So it's just not as effective to watch people play board games in person. But, so Roots is the one that I really want to try out. And I just saw on Steam they released it in a virtual version. So I'm excited about it. Yeah,
man, so many things have had to go virtual. It's so interesting to watch, like, our board games begin to make that transition. I mean, some tabletops already been there with rolling of die and a lot of that kind of stuff. But board games always have the pieces and the parts and the stuff.
I know, and I love them. I love my little Agricola. I have the little animals. I got a special pack of little. Yeah, so we have to evolve with the times, you guys.
That's anytime,
but just keep it alive in your heart.
That's right. Keep it alive, and then when the world stops burning, we'll play all the board games.
Hopefully it will. Oh my God, it might not. I read this really interesting article about a guy who analyzes social upheavals, and this is in 2012. He wrote an article about how violence is cyclical in human civilization, and that in 2012 he wrote this article saying that 2020 we're basically due for a generation of generational upheaval of violence, unrest. And all this stuff. And I was like, whoa.
Wow.
Yeah, crazy, huh?
Get that man a crystal ball. That's impressive.
Yeah.
Wow. Interesting. Well, speaking of violence and upheaval, this question, Casey over on YouTube wants to know, do you have any special training like martial arts or military combat to prepare for Red Werewolf Hunter?
Oh, good one. I had to do a little bit of training, but basically I did martial arts and ballet when I was a teenager. Summer Glau and I have that in common. We actually were in the same ballet company when we were 14.
That's crazy. What martial arts did you do, dare I ask?
I did Kuk Sool Won and I did Taekwondo. I really wanted to do Wushu really badly because I just love martial arts films and I love the balletic quality of it, but I never was able to do it. Now I'm just old and not flexible anymore. But so I actually feel, and my brother is like black belts in like 6 different martial arts. So he's a huge person, and and my dad has taken me shooting before, so I knew how to handle a firearm pretty well. So I didn't have to do any specialized training. But when we do fight scenes, we always rehearse them quite thoroughly because people can get very easily hurt. I always have a stunt double, but at the same time, some of the ones you have to do, and so you just trust the stunt coordinator to make you look like not an idiot.
Yeah. Well, you've never looked like an idiot, so you clearly trusted your stunt coordinator. Okay, so you're having all of this bread delivered. What is your favorite bread recipe? Vapor of Nuance wants to know.
I have this book called Crusts. It's this huge book full of like artisan baked goods in it, and I got it for Christmas, and it's the best resource. I love the pain de mie. I don't know how to pronounce it. I'm not French, but it's like milk bread. It's like OG sandwich bread and so yummy. I also love a good raisin walnut bread. So those are my 2 favorites.
And what's that book again?
Crusts. It's like a big thick book, and it interviews a lot of bakers around the world, so you kind of get a flavor. And it has like recipes for all sorts of focaccia and even like quick breads and things like that. It's a really awesome cookbook.
Very cool. Well, clearly you're a fangirl of authors. So again, a nice little segue. Cass over on Discord wants to know, who are the authors you fangirl over and why?
Wow. I mean, I really love Jacqueline Carey. There's a video of me interviewing her and I'm literally trembling. So her books have meant a lot to me. I mean, how I just get excited about authors. Like if you've written a book that I love, I'm just like, I would love to meet, what's her name? Tasman. She wrote Gideon the Ninth. I would be like, oh my God. I mean, I really would, because her writing is incredible. I can't remember her last name, but she's from New Zealand. I could see her face because I'm like, hi, you're so pretty too. You're such a good writer. So George R. R. Martin, I've had many a meal with, but the first ones I was literally trembling. So
well, it's good to know that you get nervous too, because I'm sure there's been a fair share of people that have felt the same.
Yeah.
So
we all get nervous. Everybody, listen, Tom Cruise probably fanboys about some. No, he probably doesn't, but everybody else does.
I used to have an acting teacher tell me, your nerves are a good thing. It means you care about the thing. It means you care. No. What Star Trek species, excluding human, would you rather be? That's Cozy Voyeur.
I mean, I'd like to be a Vulcan because I feel like I'm a little bit of a Vulcan anyway, and I'd look cute in elf hairs anyway. I would not want to be a Klingon. I would not be a successful Klingon. I don't have the rage in me, you know? So I think Vulcan. I think because I look good with my eyebrows are on point.
Yes. Yeah. You have all, and math, the things.
I'm a
all of it. Yeah. You've got all the check boxes.
I'm basically a Vulcan in real life.
Wheezing Girl over on Discord just wanted to let you know a book recommendation for you. Check out The Marriage of Cadmus and Harmony by Roberto Colosso. I
will check it out. I just finished the new V.E. Schwab book because I'm doing a book stop interview with her because her work is very awesome, and so it's a great book. So you're gonna want to pick it. It's The Secret Life of Addie LaRue. It's really good.
Ooh. Sounds good. Well, we are down to our last two questions. Our time has sped by. So last two questions, but I want to thank you. Thank you for being here and just sharing your time and your joy.
Forever, man.
Yeah, absolutely. So next to last question coming in says, since you've been portraying MJ Watson, could you see yourself playing a character in the live action MCU?
I would love to. I think I'm a little funny looking, I guess. I don't know. I've known so many people who work in that, and I know the head of all the TV. Like, I just they've only asked me to do hosting stuff for them. So I would love to, though. I would love anything they had for me. I would do it. But what do?
So what I heard is everybody needs to go bug Marvel and let them know that we want to see you.
I don't think that will help, but that's fair.
It may not.
Point, right?
Okay, for serious question here. Which is better, PB&J or BLT? The fate of the universe depends on this question.
PB&J.
yes, always with the PB&J.
PB&J.
Agreed. I have to agree with that. This one, I think, is the perfect roundup question for the end of the to this one, because I think it goes back to all of your books and so many things that you've talked about today and your passions. Deglow on Discord wants to know, do you have any advice for artists who are a jack of all trades and love to pursue multiple passion projects?
I mean, that's me. I would say just see things through. That's my best advice, because I get super distracted. I haven't been writing the last couple of weeks because I've been busy with my tinkering around with my streaming. And then I get tinkering around with my YouTube channel. And then I tinker around with, some cooking. So I think that when you are multi-hyphenate and multi-talented, it's a blessing, and you just need to be you, but at the same time, just see things through. So if you're going to focus, just try to focus, because that's our hardest thing. Focus, see things through, rinse, repeat.
There you go. You got it. You heard it here first, DragonCon, rinse and repeat. Well, we are getting very close to time, the top of the hour. And of course, this weekend is not even close to being done, y'all. We've got a whole weekend.
Be a kickoff person. Yeah.
So I want to thank you again. Any last minute things you want to say to the lovely DragonCon audience before we kind of close out our little
No. I mean, I guess I won't see you in person, so come see me on my Twitch channel, you guys. I stream 3-4 times a week, so just come by one day. It's really fun. It's a really nice environment.
Can confirm. Can confirm. It's a fun environment. I laughed my hiney off. So when I was there for Fall Guys. So thank you again so much, Felicia, for being here, for sharing in our DragonCon passions, and for not missing a year, even if it is virtual with us.
Ever.
Thank you so much.
Bye.
DragonCon, we'll see you later. Have a good weekend.